Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 New Dawn run. Hope you're all doing well. So the baby is a character that a lot of people have trouble with, and I've done a guide to show you how to easily win with the baby, because this is a character that has a boring but pretty easy mode if you only buy sticks and just get tons and tons of damage by stacking sticks, and the more interesting mode that we're going to be playing today. This character gets up to 24 weapons, which means that if you have 4 different types of weapons, and 6 of each of them, you can get the full weapon tag from up to 8 different weapon categories, which is a lot of free stats. So if you combine your weapons correctly, then you can end up with massive amounts of free stats, which makes up for the stats that you're not getting from levels. So we're going to do that, and we'll start with the quarterstaff. Not only is this just a good weapon for the baby with decent base damage and everything, it gives us XP gain, so we're going to get our weapon slots earlier. And the primitive and medieval weapon tags are 2 great defensive tags that will make up for the fact that this character normally really struggles to get defensive stats, because most characters will tend to get those from their level ups, and the baby doesn't get stats from those. So this is, I think, the more fun way to play the character than playing only sticks. But if you're just looking to get a win, then playing just sticks is going to be the way to go, because the amount of extra damage you get from doing that is super high. So unarmed and support are also 2 weapon tags that I'm pretty interested in getting, but I don't think we want 6 hands. So I think we will reroll. Alien Tongue and Beanie are both items that I'm going to leave in the pool but not buy right away, but we can benefit from buying items early on this character, because we don't need to buy as many weapons early since we don't have the weapon slots to fill out. So for example, this Scar, we're going to go ahead and buy it. I will leave Scared Sausage in the pool as well. We're not building around it yet, but maybe we will want to later on. Lens, I'm going to ban. This character is not going to build ranged damage. And Goat Skull, pretty nice melee item, but I really want to focus on economy items early, so again, we'll leave that in the pool. And I guess I'll just buy another Scar. Getting 2 Scars early is really nice for the baby. That's going to give us a lot of weapon slots. So even though I gave up some weapon levels to do that, getting both of those early helps a lot. And this character can really accelerate because you don't have to spend as much money on weapons early as other characters, but also you just can't. So we can spend that money on economy items instead. In this next shop, though, I definitely need to buy weapons, because we need to be upgrading our weapons and get a few more. Also, it is really nice that we hit level 2 here, so we get a whole other weapon slot and can fill that out as well. Alien Worm and Head Injury, we're going to pass on both of those. We'll buy a quarterstaff here. Injection and duct tape, again, I'm going to leave these in the pool. So it might look weird to be not banning items in the early game, but this character, you can sort of picture it like we are rolling for economy items like you normally would. It just so happens that for this character, we're also buying those economy items right away instead of waiting. We'll buy another quarterstaff here and level that up, and then we'll lock a Scar. I'll leave Ugly Tooth in the pool, and we'll roll, and we can lock quarterstaff and propeller hat, and then we can buy another weapon when we get another weapon slot in this next wave. Scissors are another fairly interesting option. Medical is a good way to get healing, which this character can struggle with, and Precise is not a bad weapon tag to have, just increases your overall damage output. So Scissors is a second weapon worth considering. I think probably we're going to go for Claws, because that will give me unarmed and precise. I wouldn't mind a blunt weapon, I wouldn't mind a heavy weapon, but currently I think that's going to be my main plan, is to go for Claws as our second type of weapon that we're picking up. We'll take, obviously, the weapon slot here, and then we will buy the quarterstaff to fill it immediately. Take Scar and Propeller Hat. Those are both good economy items. I will lock this Hedgehog, because I want to boost my melee damage. Although quarterstaff scales with XP gain, so you don't really need to buy melee damage to make this work, we're very likely to have other melee weapons mixed in, so we definitely want that. We'll lock the bait. I think that will be fine. We can survive that fairly easily, and then we will ban out the mutation and do a reroll here. Primitive and Elemental, I don't think we're that interested in, so let's just lock this Lost Duck. For 5, I'm not going to reroll. We'll go to the next wave. Well, we're interested in the primitive weapon tag, obviously, but we have that from the quarterstaff. Alright, so our damage is a little low. We only have 4 weapons, so I am going to kill this gobbler before it eats all of our materials, rather than try to let it stack up a bunch of materials and make extra money from it. But there's a very real risk that we weren't going to be able to kill it. I also want to save for the end of the wave. I want to be able to kill at least one of those curse aliens. Take a weapon slot. Nice, we rolled into a quarterstaff. That's really good. And then we'll buy all of these and then do a reroll. Lock another quarterstaff, and we'll lock a blindfold as well. And I think I will go for scissors. It showed up here, so we will be able to use this as our 7th weapon. And medical is a really nice tag. We definitely want more regen, and precise will be pretty good as well. Even though quarterstaff doesn't benefit a ton from the extra crit chance, because its crit damage is really low, our other weapons will. Also, very bad movement by me off the start of this wave, so I'm going to try to finish off these lampreys here without dying. And we'll kill it, and then back off. Pick up that consumable to give myself a little bit of extra movement potential. Try to kill these clams, because again, that'll let me survive a little more easily. And given that I messed up early and took a lot of extra damage from the bait aliens, very important to do that. I don't think we'll have the damage, unfortunately, to clear that loot alien, so we're going to focus on killing the curse alien that I already killed. Pretty bad wave for me, because I really messed up my movement against the lampreys there, but that's okay. Sometimes you mess up, you just have to recover from it. We'll take the corrupted shard here, we'll take the blindfold, and then I will do a reroll, leaving the scissors locked, because it is the weapon I want next. I am also going to buy the butterfly, because this character can benefit a lot from lifesteal. We just have so many weapons that buying lifesteal for them is still it is very good, even if they are melee weapons that don't attack that frequently. So since we're getting precise from scissors as one of our weapon categories, we aren't going to buy. We're not going to focus on claws, because obviously that would then give us a redundant weapon tag. I do still want unarmed, because I really wouldn't mind getting a lot of dodge on this character. We have the bonus dodge from the medieval weapon tag, so we could use that. And if I built dodge with the unarmed tag, maybe we could have ethereal as one of our other tags in order to build tons of dodge for free, similar to how the vagabond does. We'll buy the cute monkey for sure. That's going to be a lot of healing. And then we get 2 weapon slots here. Loot is also an interesting option. Musical and support are both amazing weapon tags. So let's just go ahead and grab the loot. Also, the loot debuffing an enemy helps just kill things faster, so we can pick that up. Let's buy the small fish as well and do a reroll here. We'll take this loot. Do I want to combine quarterstaffs to get the musical and support tags more? I think I actually do, because this gets me to 23 harvesting, so it'll start growing faster. And then, so even though I gave up 1 point of primitive and 1 point of medieval, we'll be able to find another quarterstaff soon. We'll ban the eye surgery, buy the beanie, and then do a reroll here. I could buy scared sausage. There are some synergy items that are good. So even though I banned the eye surgery, we could still potentially build around elemental damage. Let's go ahead and ban Gummy Berserker because it's bad. I'll lock the Ugly Tooth. I think I will pick up 1 scared sausage just in case we get Ice Cube. And then we wouldn't want eye surgery with those items anyways. I'm also going to reroll here because I really want to lock a weapon, and we were able to lock loot and black belt, both great items for us. So just to clarify a little more, it might look a little incoherent to ban eye surgery and buy scared sausage, but the reason that we're doing that is not because we care about the burning damage, which is why you would buy eye surgery or elemental damage items, which we will also ban or have banned, but because if we find the elemental damage synergy items, the ice cube in particular, or if we're lucky enough, fried rice or Greek fire, then having the one scared sausage can be pretty useful. And this character gets its items cheaper, so you can afford to speculate on stuff like that a little bit more. Though, obviously, you still can't go crazy because you have to spend your money effectively, since this character is behind on stats. We'll take the black belt here, we'll pick up the loot, we'll pick up all... I guess we can just buy everything, and then... Alright, so another loot. So I could combine my... and another scissors. I think what I'm actually going to do here is we'll level this loot, and we'll leave the scissors locked. I will do one more reroll here. I will ban this pencil. We'll lock this loot, and because I have the extra luck from the loots, I will lock Cyberball as well. That's another way we can clear enemies. So this way we will be able to be upgrading our weapons, but also in getting free stats from the weapon tags. You always want to buy XP gain on this character as well, so Black Belt obviously really good. Also gives us melee damage to boost our weapons that scale with melee damage. Because we want as many active weapons as possible to max out the free stats that we're getting by completing the weapon tags. It depends on the tag. A lot of them are just as efficient with like 5 weapons, but some of them are most efficient if you have exactly 6 weapons. Some of them don't get as many boosts later on in the weapon tag as well. So depending on the tag, you may be fine with 5 weapons, you may want more. Medieval, for example, really wants you to have 6 because you get an armor when you get your 6th weapon, and the 5th one only gives you some dodge. And you'd rather have armor. So we are a little sad that we've got 5 medieval weapons, but I decided to prioritize the economy boosts. Here, I'm gonna pick up the loot again, and we'll buy the tractor and cyberball. I could level the scissors and get a free reroll. I guess I'll take a level 2 scissors, and then I will do a reroll. I'll lock a lure and a baby gecko. Sharp bullet, I'm going to leave in the pool, but reroll, and then we'll pick up another loot. And so we're actually getting very close to having the full musical and support tags online as well. Let's ban Cog, because we're not building engineering. The reason I say that this is the more interesting but more difficult way to play this character also is it requires a little more game knowledge to get the most out of the weapon tags. You have to decide when you're going to combine your weapons and which weapon tags and weapon types to prioritize, whereas the normal way to win with the baby, you just buy sticks. You just keep buying sticks, and then each one makes each other one more powerful, so the character just ends up with tons and tons of free damage. I do need to get some regen soon. We are struggling to get any healing. I do have the scissors, and that can give us the medical weapon tag. And we have a cute monkey for a little healing, but I haven't found anything that's really going to help keep us alive yet. And my max HP is also pretty low, despite having the primitive weapon tag available. So defensive stats, as always with the baby, always a challenge. Sadly, I didn't see that loot alien until right at the end there, which is a little unlucky. We'll pick up this loot, we'll take baby gecko, lure helps get my regen a little more positive, and we'll take cyberball for a free reroll, and then another loot, and now we've maxed out our musical and support weapon tags. Dangerous bunny, worth grabbing. Gambling token, I think worth grabbing as well, because we are going to want to build dodge, and I'll probably have unarmed in my other weapon set. I'll just ban the pumpkin here. We're not building ranged weapons, so there's not much point to it. And here I will buy the duct tape. What's my consumable heal? 0. I really want more HP and more regen, but I don't think we can afford to buy the alien worm here. And then I will lock the loot. Even though we have 6 loots already, we can still fill out our remaining weapon slots with loots if we don't find the other weapons. We can then just combine them when we find other weapons to get more free stats from tags. So loot is still just going to be a good weapon for us because it increases our damage, and even though we're not getting benefits from the tags, we'll later be able to turn it into higher weapon levels on our existing loots when we get the other weapons to fill out our categories. I'm gonna go ahead and kill this loot alien, and we do have lure this wave, so I need to just be aware of that. make sure that I am staying where I can kill the loot aliens when they spawn. Here's one. I decided not to kill that blobfish for that reason. So you see the cursed blobfish off on the right there. Normally I would kill it and try to kill the curse alien that spawns out of it, but because I knew we were getting the lure spawn, we knew that was coming up. I decided not to kill the blobfish because I would have to then focus damage on killing the curse alien and run away from the lampreys, and that might reduce my HP, which as you saw was low at the end there, or make it more difficult to chase down the loot alien. I'll take the robot arm. This does cost HP, which is pretty bad. I do need to boost my HP, but it's so much melee damage. And since we have this engineering boost, the turret can be pretty good as well. I did ban Pumpkin, but I think I will buy Sharp Bullet just to get it out of the pool, even at the cost of 5% damage, and it's still okay with our turret. So even though we can't undo the penalty of that, it's still fine. Alright, so here's an interesting spot. Ghost Flint could give me Ethereal, which could get me quite a bit more dodge, but I think I don't want to reduce my armor. And the Ethereal weapon tag only ever comes on its own. It doesn't combine with other weapon tags to get 2. So I think we're going to pass on Ghost Flint. Harpoon Gun is also somewhat interesting. Naval is a good weapon tag. Gun is not great, but range is a little better for the baby than it is for other characters because your weapons are further apart, so it's more likely to put one in range that wouldn't normally be in range. But I think we're just going to buy these two and we'll just roll here. Yeah, I would much rather be upgrading my my weapon tags. Flaming Brass Knuckles. So this is the unarmed tag. Elemental, I don't really care about, but I do want the unarmed tag. So I think I will just buy the Flaming Brass Knuckles, and we will combine 2 of our loots in order to do that, just to start getting that weapon tag online as well. It's not going to be a significant increase to our damage, and the elemental portion of it won't matter, although against elites it can be a little bit of extra damage. But mostly that's there just because we're going to want to build the unarmed tag. And I will just buy 6 of whatever unarmed weapons we find in order to get 15% dodge. Another option for a weapon tag is blunt. I could try getting blunt weapons. But I don't think that we want to do that because the blunt weapon tag requires us to build move speed to offset the move speed penalty, which is fairly hard to do when you don't get stats from leveling. Normally, that's the most reliable way to get move speed. All right, you can see our dodge is coming in handy a little bit. That's why we built it. My damage is pretty low, although the melee damage that we are building from the robot arm should be pretty good. Ooh, this is dangerous, but I can't resist. We are going to take the starfish. That's a lot of extra income. And then here, we'll buy a loot here. I could buy the medical gun. It is just a medical weapon, so it could give me some healing. I could also buy Sharp Tooth, which would help with the precise weapon tag and fix the primitive weapon tag, but I'd really rather buy another quarterstaff. I'll take the hunting trophy and a flaming brass knuckles, so we can do that. How many loots do I have currently? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can only afford to combine one of these without giving up the musical and support tags. I'll definitely take the jelly. Max HP is a real problem for us right now, and fixing that is a very high priority. Hand is an unarmed tag. It also will help with the support tag, but I guess I'll lock it here. It's currently... The unarmed tag is what we care about from the hand, so it's 25. Yeah, I think it is worth locking. I'll buy a metal detector, and I'll lock the beanie, and then we'll go fight the Horde wave. I also would not be getting so greedy if we didn't have a Horde wave. If we had an elite wave, I would need to focus more on defensive stats, and probably would not have combined as aggressively, and would not have bought loot as aggressively. But since we have a Horde wave, this is a lot safer. We don't need the defensive stats as much as you do for an elite wave. Instead, you just need damage. And because this character has so many weapons, your damage comes kind of for free. You just have lots and lots of damage and effectively lots of attack speed, even without buying attack speed. So you can usually clear Horde waves with a fair amount of comfort on this character. Because our HP is pretty low, it's been a little more risky than it normally would be, but you can see we're still not too worried about dying at this point, though I will back off from these lampreys and take some heals while we wait for the wave to end. I'll take the gambling token here. It does cost me armor, but it's boosting my dodge, which we want. Obviously recycling that, and then we get a couple more weapon slots. And then, here we go, a little more dodge. Do I want the tardigrade? My HP is terrible, so I think I will take the tardigrade because we get a free reroll from it. That is a lot of XP gain items. Do I think that I can survive if I buy both celery tea and peacock? Probably not. I don't think we have the damage to do that. I'll buy bean teacher. I think I will buy the peacock here. Another option is I could float the peacock until the horde wave. But I think I'm going to buy this, and I think we will pass on the celery tea for this character. I don't really want to lock it for a full wave. And although it's good for the beanie, for the beanie baby, the celery tea takes a while to pay off. So I think we will prefer to wait and buy other XP gain items. I will take a claw tree. I do want more stats, even at the cost of HP here, and we'll roll again. We'll buy another hand. And, alright, this celery tea I'll lock because it doesn't cost me a shop slot for this entire section, so we will lock that one. And the reason that this one's better to lock than the other one in the same shop is that if I had locked the other one, because we can't buy it in this shop because doubling enemy health and increasing enemy damage is too dangerous. We would just die. So I could have locked it, but then we're giving up one shop slot for all of our rerolls this shop. But since it showed up again at the end, we can pick it up. Really would like to find a 6th quarterstaff. I was not expecting that to be our challenge here. And the medieval weapon tag and primitive weapon tag not being full is definitely making our character a lot less safe than we would be with those maxed out. Tardigrade does go well with dodge because it's less likely to break, and it means that you have one more hit before you have to really start worrying. Hands are not really where I want to be. Oh wow, I almost died there. I thought that second goblin shark was about to charge into me. So I need to fix my armor. That'll stop that from happening. Hands are not really where we want to be because they don't do enough damage, but they are giving us a bunch of dodge. We also got that loot alien right at the end, which is nice. I'll take the duct tape. We keep getting items that reduce my HP, but we have to boost our armor as well. And then we'll roll. We'll take the celery tea and the gambling token. I'll roll here. Mastery, great. We definitely want that. Alien Baby is actually pretty interesting for this character. Increasing enemy health is very bad. It's a very bad penalty. But again, damage has not been a major issue for us. It's just been our defensive stats, and we're losing HP every wave from the robot arm. So I think we actually do want the Alien Baby here. Not a weapon or not an item I normally buy, but in this case, pretty good. We'll buy the loot here just to upgrade our loots, and, you know, more weapons is better. And we could actually build some elemental damage. I have the Scared Sausage. We've got these Flaming Brass Knuckles, but I think we're still just going to pass on that. I just don't think it does enough. The more medical and precise weapon tag is good for us as well. Wait, why is it only showing... Okay, yeah, no, we've got 3 scissors. So we've got 2 regen and 6 crit chance off of those. Wisdom is pretty good for this character because our damage is dealt slowly anyways, so the percent damage is bad. And let's look at this ball and chain. So that would slow the attack speed on my brass knuckles. Doesn't matter for the loots. Doesn't matter for the quarterstaffs. Doesn't matter for the scissors. Honestly, it's hard to buy attack speed, and we need the stats on this character, so I think this is a ball and chain angle as well. And then we'll definitely buy the Cursed Cyclops Worm and fix our percent damage. That is super helpful. This has been a weird run. A lot of items that I normally wouldn't buy, a lot of weapons that I normally don't value on this character, just coming in handy here. I went to demonstrate this way of playing the character, but I actually think that the way that these shops have worked out is somewhat unusual, and your build will not end up looking that similar to this most of the time you try to do this, just because this has been a fairly unusual run. Remember, of course, we have the celery tea this wave, so that's why it's hard for us to kill stuff. But at least my dodge is very high, and we should be getting a couple levels. Took a hit there, but the wave is about to end, so we can just take one more hit just to pick up materials. Pick up the Lost Duck here for even more luck. Now we have the perfect amount. And let's see, what else have we got? We've got... Wait, did I not buy the celery tea? Hang on. Oh, is it sorting? Is it showing me the wrong sort? Yeah, okay. It was showing me the incorrect sort. It was showing rarity. We did, yeah, obviously buy the celery tea. Here we're going to take Wisdom and Ball and Chain, and I think that will help us clear the Horde wave a lot better. Let's roll here. I might take this Jousting Lance just for fixing the medieval weapon tag. Like, I could buy the Jousting Lance and the Javelin. We have 7 loots still. So that could get me medieval and primitive. It does cost me 2 weapons, but we can sell out of these if we find another quarterstaff, and it's so important to get our defensive stats online, so I think we will do that. And then we'll roll. Blunt and Heavy on the Warhammer is actually pretty good for this character, so let's lock that, because these are 2 weapon tags I could really use. We do need our next set of weapon tags, because we've got Medical and Precise, we have Unarmed. I guess we've got 6 weapons, so ideally we would have Loots, Unarmed Weapons, Scissors, and Quarterstaffs as our 4 types of weapons. But the Warhammer, I think, will be totally reasonable anyways. I'm also going to buy the Jelly here, and we'll lock the Alien Tongue, but I want more max HP going into this Horde wave. This really has been a very bizarre run. We've ended up with a much weirder weapon set than I would normally go with. Usually when you try to do this, you just end up with 6 copies each of 4 weapons. Ideally, each of them has 2 weapon tags, and then you just get the full stats of those. But because we have ended up losing out on getting the quarterstaffs that we needed, so we've had to buy other random weapons to make up for that. We've ended up with a lot of different unarmed weapons as well, so we've had to buy different stuff to make up for that. It's been just a very weird set of items that we've ended up with. I'm also going to run through the middle of the map here and try to pick up as many materials as possible before the end of this Horde wave. Yeah, I will take the fresh meat. Our healing is still pretty bad, but I think that's still fine. I will lose 3 dodge for the little frog, and then we'll take 2 weapon slots as well. We'll buy the Warhammer and the Scissors and the Alien Tongue, and then roll. Butterfly, I do want. Clockwork Wasp, I probably want as well, because my move speed is pretty bad, so we'll take that. Okay, here we go. So now we can do a little bit of reorganizing of our weapons. So currently I've got 4 unarmed weapons. We have, how many loots do I have currently? We have 6 loots. The Warhammer isn't doing anything for us right now, but is just a fun weapon to have that gives us some other options. So the question is, do I want to combine Scissors? Do I want to lose the musical and support tags? Because we could actually move out of these to more defensive tags. I think that's going to be the plan. So we're going to combine musical and support, and we'll pick up another Flaming Brass Knuckles, and then I'll pick up 1 more unarmed weapon. We have I feel bad selling out of 69 HP, but that is 64 is still plenty, I think. So we'll sell out of the Javelin, we'll buy the Power Fist, we'll buy the Snail, and then we'll re-roll here, and I'll lock this Scissors. Ghost outfit I will also take. And we'll take the beanie to offset the speed penalty. Decomposing flesh, we don't really want to lose more HP, so I'll pass on that. So now we've got almost the full unarmed weapon tag, which means that my dodge is really high. Trying to kill this cursed stargazer here. Still hoping for another quarterstaff to show up at some point. But yeah, so I think the plan is going to be that as we get more defensive weapon tags, we're going to combine our loot, because we no longer need our economy tags as much. They were really helpful for getting us as strong as we are currently, but we can certainly get stronger by turning that economy into more damage or more defenses. And there we go. So we're level 24 now. So we have, or we're level 23. So we have our full 24 weapons. That means that we're going to start getting stats as we level up. I will take the ghost outfit. It does cost me speed and armor, which is painful, but we're at 63 dodge now. And then scissors, we're up to, here we go. We're up to 5 of those for precise and medical. Then we will reroll here. Gonna pass on all of these. And we'll re-roll again. Small magazine, my attack speed is currently negative, so even at the cost of 6% damage, this is actually fine. We'll take that, we'll take this, and then we'll do one more re-roll. Alright, here's our scissors. Pocket Factory I'm going to buy just for fun, just because I like the item. And then, let's see if we can kill the elite. We have very poor defensive stats, which is always the challenge on Baby, but we have managed to build a bunch of dodge, so we do have that going for us. I also really messed up my movement, as I do every single time I face this elite at the beginning of the, the fight. Always take that first hit from this one. But let's just focus some damage on it. With 24 weapons, we can deal a bunch of damage. I took a couple hits, so I'm going to back off, and we'll get some healing from our lifesteal and consumable healing. We did get a dodge there, which was lucky because we had no dodges up to that point, with 63% dodge. Then I decided I just needed to charge at the elite and kill it. We would get the full heal after killing it, and we did. And that way I don't have to try to dodge it anymore. Once it's dead, we're just not in any danger any longer. Axolotl. Okay, well, that could get me 100% lifesteal, so that's awesome. What a find here. Obviously, it hurts to lose all this harvesting, you know, it pains me, but turning my harvesting into lifesteal is just super fun. We have really high engineering, so the nail is going to give us a ton of damage on all our weapons, and now you can see that we're level 24, so we're actually getting stats. We'll take 4 regeneration here. We'll pick up the scissors, we'll take the Pocket Factory. This gives us the heavy weapon tag, and I can actually... let's see, I still have the Jousting Lance for medieval. We sold our primitive weapons, right? So let's go ahead and combine these loots, and we'll buy the Cacti Club, because I want to get the heavy weapon tag, and I only currently had 5 primitive weapons, because the quarterstaffs. So I'm just going to buy any heavy weapon to go with our Warhammer and boost our damage output. Then I'm going to roll, we'll lock the schmoop and the coffee. Coupon will probably pay for itself in the next 2 shops as well, so we'll buy that. This is a pretty high economy run, although I guess it's a lot lower now that we've turned everything into lifesteal. Oh, I also probably did not need to take regeneration there. I wasn't really thinking about how we have 185% lifesteal now, which should be enough healing. Honestly, what a bizarre run. This is just an extremely unusual direction for the run to have gone, where we end up with this weird of a weapon set, where we end up with a bunch of weapons that are fairly weak on their own as well, just because we needed the stats. Here I'm going to... I can take 16% damage. Yeah, our percent damage is terrible. Let's just take that. I could have rolled for armor or dodge as well, but I feel like we will be able to get those stats. And then let's roll here. Increasing my luck at this point. I don't know how much that matters, but let's buy the lucky charm anyways, and then we'll do another reroll. We'll buy a spicy sauce for a little more max HP, but I'll pass on the lost duck and the laser gun. Alright, so we lost our tardigrade. Yeah, so normally how this run goes is you just buy 6 quarterstaffs, then you buy 6 claws, then you buy 6 of a medical weapon of some kind just to get some regen, buy a blunt or a heavy weapon, whatever shows up, but usually it's going to be 6 quarterstaffs and 6 claws so that you can get precise, unarmed, medieval, and primitive weapon tags all at once. Sometimes you'll then buy ethereal weapons as well for 30% more dodge if you've managed to pick up a bunch of armor. We wouldn't in this run because our armor's really low, so I wouldn't want to reduce it further. Let's roll here, and speaking of armor, I'm looking for that, but we'll take 15 attack speed as well. A heavy weapon, but the grenade launcher is going to be really bad, so I think we will pass on that. Even though I need more armor, I will take the gambling token. Each point of dodge makes each future point of dodge better, so when you have the ghost outfit, getting to 70 dodge cap is incredibly efficient. Yeah, we are passing on that. I will buy the cute monkey. I need more healing, and I'll roll again. Broken mouth is pretty good. We've got the full unarmed tag. I could like combine these hands for a little more damage against the bosses. That's probably fine. We'll do that, and then I'll roll again. Okay, Warhammer is not a bad one because just it does a bunch of damage, and the heavy weapon tag is also worth it. We would also get an extra armor from the blunt weapon tag if I had to. Is there something I can sell here? No, we don't have a recycling machine, so I'd have to sell several weapons to get that, so it's not worth it. Oh, the Retrimations hoodie. Okay. 5% attack speed. So what would I have to sell to get that? I could sell my loot. I want to keep at least one of these to, or 1 or 2 of those to boost our damage output. I could sell from the debuffing. I could combine my quarterstaffs and sell some of those. The attack speed is so valuable. We would get 350 attack speed. What would I have to sell? So let's sell out of this Flaming Brass Knuckles. It's going to cost me some dodge, but it's one of the fastest ways to get to that stat. So even though it's less attack speed now, since we lost dodge, it's one of our most expensive items. And then I guess I will sell out of this Warhammer, and then we'll buy the Retrimations hoodie. And I'll buy a Sharp Tooth just to replace our, make sure we still have 23 weapons. And then we'll go to the next wave with 372% attack speed. So even though I'm 2% below dodge cap, my armor's not good, we should now be just flattening these bosses because our attack speed is so high. And my dodge is still really high with 68%. Our damage is a little lower than I was expecting. Of course, there's the issue with animation speeds as well. Even with super high attack speed, some melee weapons still have low animation speeds, so they don't benefit as much from attack speed. And there we go. We have indeed... I love when you win with the baby in it, because they added the doing a flip animation at the end, and it spins your 24 weapons in a massive circle. It's really funny. So there you go. That was a very odd version of this run, but a really fun one. We ended with Cursed Retrimations hoodie, which is obviously ridiculous. Looking at our items here, we ended level 26, so all the XP gain that we bought was good. We got 106 healing from our cute monkeys, 40k damage from our cyber balls, even though we sold the Warhammer. 23k damage from our turrets, 343 materials from hunting trophy. Because we have the precise weapon tag, that was always going to be pretty valuable. And what else? Right, I had the ball and chain. That's why the hoodie wasn't working. I completely forgot I had ball and chain. Whoops. Oh well. So that's why the Retrimations hoodie was not as exciting as it could have been, because I had the ball and chain capping it. Easy to forget about this item. It was still good, but yeah, I completely forgot that we had that. Selling for the Retrimations hoodie, given that, was not right. I'm sure people have said that in the comments as well. And the coupon did not pay for itself, and that's pretty much it. All right, my friends. Well, hope you enjoyed that run, even though I forgot my item here. As always, of course, if you have enjoyed the run, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.